Everywhere burst few hours ago as Kasala burst in the ASO chamber. Tinubu newly appointed the new CJN, and as if that is not enough, a lot of Nigerians actually came out and they said Tinubu is appointing his new CJN KEKERE ahead of the 2027 election. That was what a lot of people have been saying. But he had finally come out to shocktalize Tinubu few hours ago ahead of what Nigerians have been saying. He said he's going to support Peter Obi full time in 2027 to kick Tinubu out of power, that he will never stand beside Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and this alone have caused a lot of chaos in APC right now. As if that is not enough, he called Tinubu a thief and not side with all his cabinet. I will play you the full video in this very video. You're going to see everything the way it actually goes. So I would like guys to stay connected to the end of this video. If you can share this video, just do well to share it. He said he's not scared of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Whatever Tinubu wants to do, he's not scared of Tinubu. So if you can share the video as you're watching it, just like it, give it a thumb up so that it will be recommended for us. Just stay connected. I'm coming back again.
Welcome you back to LAJUPOG TV.
I don't have bad news for you today.
The home of religious gossip.
But you should leave the fight for Mohammed.
What is happening in the Christendom? Join now to make sense with LAJUPOG.
Hello my great and wonderful viewers, welcome back to LAJUPOG TV. For those of you coming across this channel for the very first time, ensure you click the registration button appearing on your video screen, and at the same time click the notification bell icon so that whenever we drop a new video in few hours time, YouTube will easily let you to know. Kasala burst few hours ago. It was few days ago that Tinubu came back from France to appoint the new CJN as the acting CJN, the person of KEKERE. Ariwola finally bow out, and all of that. A lot of things actually happened amidst the private jet saga, amidst the CJN saga. Something tragic happened few hours ago. He finally come out to declare that he's going to put the full support for Peter Obi in 2027, because according to the 2023 election, a lot of people were still saying that it was Peter Obi that won the election. Even after the appointment of the new CJN, he came out to make it known to the general public that it was even Peter Obi that won the 2027 election. That Tinubu only rigged his way to power, he snatched it, he grabbed it, and he ran away with it. I don't think that Tinubu really know he wouldn't have appointed a new CJN at the moment. They will still have been pending it and all of that. But amidst all the controversies, a lot of people have been to different media houses. A lot of prominent people have been to different media houses all across Nigeria, and they have phrased their concern regarding the new CJN. They said Tinubu intentionally appointed the new CJN despite the record that this new CJN have gotten before, because it was the new CJN KEKERE that was seated in 2020 for the election of Imo State, when she appointed Hope Uzodinma as the winner of the election, even when, according to INEC, Hope Uzodinma came fourth in Imo State election. But KEKERE was seated as the chief judge in that very ruling, and she made Hope Uzodinma of APC the winning candidate of the election. She made Hope Uzodinma the fourth person as far as the election is concerned. She made him the first in the election. Now a lot of people are raising concern. They said, is he not going to do the same thing to Bola Ahmed Tinubu in course of the 2027 election? Because a lot of people were saying that the people will not give their mandate to Tinubu in 2027. They said Tinubu have made hunger to ravage the land. He have made hunger to quiet a lot of people, and the people are already against Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that they will not give their vote to Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027. They will not even be tribally sick at this time. But they said Tinubu intentionally put KEKERE there so that he can give him the mandate. That's what they be saying. But KEKERE have finally come out to shocktalize everybody. The new CJN have finally come out to shocktalize everybody. A lot of Nigerians were shocked when they saw this statement regarding the 2027 election. So I'd like guys to stay connected to the end of this video, because I'm going to be playing you the full video in this very video. If you can share this video, just do well to share it. Share it to different social media platforms. Let it go viral. And if you can share it, just like it as you're watching it, like the video, give it a thumb up so that it will be recommended for us. They said Tinubu have already secured INEC for himself before, because of the shenanigans that actually took place, because of the criminality that actually took place in course of the 2023 election. They said Tinubu have secured INEC for himself. Now they said Tinubu is trying to secure the judicial system for himself again. That was why he increased the judicial salary to 300%, even when Labour and all of that, they still crying for the 70,000 that Tinubu managed to increase their salary to. They said Tinubu is taking care of the judiciary so that he can get his dividends back in course of the 2027 election. He did not even need the people to vote for him in 2027 election, because he have finally colored all the organizations that is supposed to put presidency in power. He have already buy all of them to himself, and that is why he's bringing in KEKERE after the ruling that KEKERE made in 2020 regarding Hope Uzodinma, APC man. that came forth in course of the election, and she removed PDP candidates that have been ruling for 8 months after the pronouncement of INEC. She removed that one and replaced the person with APC man Hope Uzodinma, and Hope Uzodinma, according to report, I'll be showing them shege in Imo State now. And after KEKERE did that ruling, after she made that judgment in 2020, they banned her from entering US. They denied her a visa because of the judicial corruption that took place in 2020 in Imo State. The US did not allow her to enter their country, and this is a person that was born in UK. You can imagine what is happening. They did not allow her to enter US again since then. And I said that is not enough. The same person with that kind of reputation is the one that they put as the new CGN, but she has finally come out to shock-talize Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because a lot of people were thinking that she would be the one to make the 2027 election to be soft for Tinubu, because according to report, they said INEC will still tell them to go to court, that if they should go to court, they should never bother to waste their time to go to court, because the judicial system is already bought and pocketed by Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They say Atiku and Obi, so others, they don't need to waste their time of going to court. Now, he has finally come out to make it known to the general public that he's not going to support Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027 election, that he will put his full support for Obi, because according to him, said Obi came first in course of the election, that it was even Peter Obi that won the 2023 election. It is not Tinubu, that Tinubu is just occupying an office that he is not even owing. He did not get the mandate of the people. You will hear everything in this very video. He called Tinubu and his cabinet thief. He called WIKE a thief and a violent election rigger. That is what is happening. And I said that is not enough. He said a lot of things. You will hear everything in this very video. So I'd like guys to stay connected to the end of the video. If you can share it, just share it. If you can't share it, just like it. You will hear from the Osman itself. Just stay connected as you listen to what DELE FAROTIMI said, and from there you will see everything that is ongoing. Just stay connected. I'm coming back again.
Bukachua came to the public space to tell all of us within the unholy chambers of the Senate exactly how judicial pronouncements are procured in the bedroom. He was the first to inform us of how the judiciary has been Bukachualized. Supreme Court justices numbering 14 came out to say that the Supreme Court, the head of the Supreme Court at the time, Tanko Mohammed, the plane driver, was corrupt. They were claiming that 80 billion had been misappropriated in the Supreme Court. These were justices of the Supreme Court that were signing petition, not DELE FAROTIMI now. So it wasn't something that DELE FAROTIMI said that led them to do that. When the United States Department of State came out with its 2021 report and said that our judiciary is a cesspit of corruption, it wasn't DELE FAROTIMI that said that. You see, he didn't say so. So you have a situation where our judiciary did not become the way it is because DELE said anything. Incidentally, I believe about 2 years ago, when Justice Ariwola was appointed acting CJ, this question you have asked of me tonight was probably a mirror image of the same question Dr. Ruben Abati asked of me about Ariwola and what effect it might have, what changes we might expect from the judiciary. I told him at the time that I didn't expect anything to change. Just as I'm telling you as well, right here and now, that I expect nothing to change. The Nigerian judiciary is the way it is because that is the way the system needs it to be, for the system to function.
Mr. Farotimi, there are those who know Justice KEKERE and who will refer to Justice KEKERE in this manner. They say Justice KEKERE is incorruptible and comes with the highest level of integrity. Would you be fair to have referred to Justice KEKERE in the manner in which you have referred to her? Our person has been. You've made reference.
Listen, my brother. Persons make up systems, but essentially, this is not about persons. I don't have a personal experience of Justice KEKERE, so I cannot speak to a person. But I can speak to the institution that she is heading. And I am saying that the institution she's heading is institutionally incapable of delivering justice because the system has not been set up to deliver justice. I don't know who she is as a person, but I know what she represents. And I am saying that the institution she represents, look, don't listen to me, listen to Ebun Sofunde SAN. Mr. Sofunde was very specific when he said very clearly that the judicial reputation is at an all-time low. That is the head of the body of senior advocates of Nigeria. Not me. I'm even a retired lawyer. I'm not a seasoned lawyer. Don't worry. It actually makes more sense for everybody to believe that I should not be taken seriously since I kukuma come across as a madman. So don't worry about me. Let's listen to the likes of Ebun Sofunde. Let's listen to I forget this justice name, the one that retired from Niger State. In the chambers at his own valedictory service, he was busy indicting the judiciary and excoriating it in the strongest possible term, not something I said. So when I say it, maybe the irreverent manner that I might adopt in delivering the truth without bothering to sugarcoat it might come across as shocking, but I am not saying anything that we all are not aware of. Our judiciary is a reflection of the society that we have managed to build, debased, debauched, completely acculturated to abnormalities. It does not deliver any justice. We are only fooling ourselves. How do you talk about justice in a situation where you spend over 5 years in court, at the High Court, over 5 years before you are even heard? I have cases involving me as a person, personal cases where I had grievances against state agencies and I sued, and I've been in court for like 4 years in one case. My matter has not been heard in 1 day. We've never been called to open our case. And yet, if that is not corrupt, what is more corrupt? Justice delayed is justice denied. Ariwola is still sitting there at his valedictory saying bye-bye, and he's talking about delaying justice. Who causes it?
Yeah.
In law, the truth is an absolute defense against libel, whether that libel is civil or criminal libel. The truth is an absolute defense. I challenge any one of them to dare to sue me, take me to that same court. The key reason why I felt myself compelled to write this book is the fact that I sought legal redress for the libel against me by one of the principal characters, and he used his clout in the judiciary to deny me the capacity to even question him.
These are heavy, these are weighty allegations. You have accused a former Solicitor General of Lagos State, Lawal Pedro SAN. You have accused Baba Afe Babalola SAN. You have accused a very prominent person in the judiciary also of compromise. In fact, you even mentioned the retired CGN Ariwola in some of your analysis in your book. These are weighty and heavy allegations against these personalities, don't you think?
Let me put it this way. I have been very, very deliberate about avoiding dealing with names and persons, because my fight in the Nigerian space is not against persons. It's about the decadent institution and the state itself. So whenever I have had to mention persons by name, it's been because it is completely unavoidable, and the truth and facts have to be established without looking at anybody's eyes, because all of us, we're just creatures in time. We will go eventually. Incidentally, my confidant and friend, who was chairman at the launch of the book, has passed on. Within less than 2 months of the book being launched, that shows you the transient nature. Yes, it shows you the transient nature of the life that we live. So if I say because I'm afraid of what a human being would do to me, or I'm afraid of how my professional colleagues or people might look at me when I have spoken the truth, what of when I'm dead? What happens then? So whilst I'm here, alive and well, and able to speak the truth that I've experienced and has been given to me to speak, it is not for me to look at the eyes of Uche, me, Woju Uche, whoever know like him. They are the legal gurus now. They know the road to court. I have every confidence in the capacity of the truth, both as a shield and as a sword. Every confidence. And having said that, I say this knowing that I have told the truth. The facts are inside the court's own records, notoriously. So if people are not happy with what I have said, that's their problem. But it's not about their person, it's about the situation, the system that has allowed such levels of abuse. It is the system, not the persons. Persons will live and they will die. I will go one day just as each and every one of the persons I mentioned. But the system that allowed that kind of evil has to change. If this society is going to be one in which our children are going to be able to live with some level and measure of decency, we cannot have a system that regulates impunity and then that licenses men to act as though they are gods and citizens as serfs that they can simply trample upon their head and then use the courts to legitimize the evil. No.
So you are saying what you have inferred in this book to me looks like a frustration of a lawyer who has seen the worst case scenario of what could have happened in any justice system, even in hell, and you have said, look, anybody who goes to find justice in the Nigerian system is a sheer waste of time. Does that represent your position after all said and done?
To a very large extent, you are correct, but I need to, because there are nuances to these things as well. Number one, it would be disingenuous of me to suggest that it is the evils that I saw in the system that led me to walk away from legal practice. That will not be true. I had already decided I was leaving when I turned 50. What happened in this case happened, I think, in 2013. So it's a story that took, no, 2012, 2013 is a story that took almost 12 years.
Afe Babalola, you accused him of corrupting the Supreme Court. You accused him of libel. And you accuse him of leveraging his influence in the judiciary to deny you justice. You made reference to a particular case. And you also drag the likes of Mr. Pedro SAN in all of this argument. What exactly was the situation? And how can you defend what you have alleged in this book?
Like I have strived to explain, I am dealing with institutions and principalities within institutions. That I have had to deal with persons is, by the way, they are collateral to my preoccupation. Now, anything I have said in relation to any one of them, I am perfectly happy to defend myself before any court of law, anywhere in the world. And the fact of the truth that I have told, they are all in the public space, they are in the public record, they are before the courts. I have not written this book to scandalize or to make money. In actual fact, every kobo derived from this book already pledged and donated to a foundation for autistic children. This is not for gain. But the truth is the truth is the truth, and it must be told without caring about names or reputations. If I have lied against persons, they are lawyers. As you said, Baba is the legal igu in Nigeria. Seun, there are some things that should not be reduced to person. This has nothing to do with persons. If Afe Babalola was the only person who is licensed to enjoy that level of impunity, that's different. It's not about him. It's a system-wide problem. You simply can't get justice from the system. When I spoke about him and the others, they are merely as examples. He has nothing to do with persons. I don't know him as a person beyond what I have described. I think I've only ever set my eye on him once in my entire life. I described it in the book. He was at Heathrow Terminal 5. That was the only time I ever saw him in my life, and it was before this occurrence. So it's nothing personal. But if persons have perpetrated evil and they have reinforced it and built a system that is as patently evil as the one in which we are living, it becomes the duty of the conscious, if you are conscious of that evil, you must speak against it. If you don't speak against it, you are helping to normalize it. So when the United Nations is speaking about corruption in the Nigerian system, when a judge is appointing his son, his daughter-in-law, when the entire system becomes as prebendal as it has become, it becomes easy for persons to influence things within the system to the detriment of those who should be citizens. So I'm not speaking about persons. I loathe to speak about persons. But when I am compelled to speak about persons in relation to their impact on the system and as types, I have no choice. I have no choice. It is whether what I have said is the truth or not. That should be what counts. It's not about the person. I don't care about names. I don't care about whether the person is 100 years old or 10 years old. It is about what level of respect have you earned. What is the value of the life you have lived?
Do you think that there is some kind of cultic arrangement within the legal profession that drags the judiciary by the jugular, such that there are some persons within the legal profession that get justice the way they want? Because in some of your explanation, it does look like there is a class of lawyers or the class of persons within the Nigerian legal practice that gets whatever they want in the courtrooms.
The Nigerian judiciary is not different from any other aspect of our society. What you find is that, okay, look at Ariwola, for instance. A man is the Chief Justice of the Federation. He makes his son a judge of the Federal High Court. He makes his daughter-in-law a judge of the Federal Court of Federal Capital Territory. He makes his brother Auditor General, Auditor of the Nigerian Judicial Council. Another family member became a judge of the Court of Appeal. When you have these egregious abuses of the Judicial Code of Conduct, when they have more or less turned judicial appointment into a family inheritance, when it is the girlfriends and wives of politicians that become judges and justices, what you find is a replication of what you have in the police, in the custom, and in every other aspect of our society. So it is not as if there is a special cult in the judiciary or at the bar. No, not necessarily. It's the same Nigerian factor of not holding people responsible for their actions, of a system that is not designed to enforce the rule of law. It is that same system that you are seeing at work in the judiciary. It is just that its effect on the judiciary is by far more ruinous than everywhere else, because the illusion of justice has been eroded. There is no longer any illusion that there is justice. Everybody now know that you are not going to get justice from. How do you expect to get justice from a court that is constantly doing all kind of somersaults? So it's not about a court somewhere. If there is one, I'm unaware, but I do know that with every other Nigerian thing, when some people have conquered a space as though it were to be a territory, you then find a succession of their children, their friends and assigns being placed in offices, and the person who has appointed you, to a very large extent in a prebendal system, gets to dictate what you do. So we've managed to evolve a judicial system that works to deliver justice to the poor and to the rich and powerful, but only judgment gets to the poor. So the poor will end up in prison, the poor will end up with the heavy end of the stick, but the rich, they get justice delivered faster. If an emir wants to sue now, he will sue and they will deliver judgment within 1 week. That's why you ended up with the madness in Kano. But if a poor man needs justice delivered quickly, he is still in court for the 4 years, like I have been in court for 4 years, and I'm not exactly poverty ridden, and yet nobody has heard me. So what kind of judicial system have we built? So it's not about persons, it's not about cult, it's a reflection of who we are as a society and what we have done to our justice delivery system. It's nothing to do with any court. It's our society.
There was something you said which came out to me. You said Nigeria, I'm quoting you, Nigeria and its criminal justice system are one of the most violent injustices that I have ever seen coming out of that Supreme Court. Came from a panel on which this particular justice sat twice. I'm talking about Justice Ariwola. But a lot of encomium has been on him as he bows out. President Tinubu stated that he was selfless, hardworking, and dedicated. Don't you see that your opinion of the CJN or the retired CJN differs from that of the president or some section of the Nigerian public?
When agiographers presume to write history, they dress the subject in borrowed gowns, and then sometimes they steal crowns to wear for the subject. These people who are expressing all these opinions of Justice Kayode Ariwola and talking about how selfless he is, how selfless is he when he was appointing his son a judge of the Federal High Court against the clear provision of the Judicial Code of Conduct? How selfless was he when he was appointing his brother auditor of the National Judicial Council? So I'm not going to, like I said, it's not personal. So when they are busy eulogizing him and talking about how selfless he is, let them remember that the history on paper, the facts suggest the exact opposite of what they are saying. But like I said, I have nothing personal against Ariwola as a man. I don't know him. I've never seen him in my life. I've never met him. So whatever it is that they say he is, history will judge all of us eventually. History would decide whether a selfless man would appoint his son a judge, his daughter-in-law a judge, his brother auditor, another cousin justice of the Court of Appeal under his watch as the Chief Justice of the Federation. So me, I'm not going to join issues with his judgment by history. I've written what I know of him, and that was what I found in coming across him as a public servant. So the only thing that will save Nigeria, whether we like hearing it or not, there has to be a revolution of our minds before we can even talk about a revolution of our systems. But the system itself is what has conditioned all this to be happening, because there are no consequences for bad behavior. If there were consequences for bad behavior, this will not continue. But everybody has come to the knowledge of the fact that anything goes in our country. There is sheer impunity everywhere you turn. The apogee of the impunity that has come to define our lives as Nigerians is when you hear them tell you, go to court. That statement is pregnant. It tells us of the failure of the state that we have built. When people are flagrantly disobeying the laws and trampling all over the rights of individuals, will look you in the eye and tell you, go to court. Before it used to be, go to the station, now go report me for station. Now it's no longer report me for station, it's go to court. And the most grueling and gruesome statement of the level of impunity that you are able to deploy, even with the instrumentality of our Supreme Court, are decisions such as the one you saw in Lawan, the like you saw in Akpabio, and the one that was done in the case in question in my book here. So it's not about something, it's not like it happened in my, like I described in my book, and it's happening every day. You have to take a look at the process of appointment. If politicians that we have all universally agreed are largely corrupt and crooked are the ones who are appointing judges, what kind of judges do we expect them to appoint? The judges are bound to be reflective of those who are appointing them. So you need to first of all look at, one, how are you recruiting your legislators? How are you recruiting your executive? Because they are the ones who end up influencing the appointment of judges. How are you doing this? So you cannot retain this decadent system as it is and then be expecting that the judiciary would, by some magic, be different from the rest of the system that has produced it. I am a citizen of a country that is not yet born, a victim of Nigeria looking to have a better country in the future. Peter Obi is a man that I admire a lot. I don't expect him to dictate what should happen in the Labour Party. When did he join them? The Labour Party is a party. It's not, I believe that if it's a party, to an extent, they would have to find a democratic means of resolving their differences. Peter Obi is not in a position to dictate the terms of their settlement to them, and I don't expect him to. Obviously, Kenneth Okonkwo has a different understanding of what Peter Obi's response should have been. He is a politician, just like Peter Obi is a politician. They are the ones who decide what political tactics works for them as politicians. Me, I'm not a politician. As of today, if there were to be a presidential election, Peter Obi is the person I'll still queue behind, because I believe in his capacity to take Nigeria in a non-violent manner to the revolution that I desire. I wish to see Nigeria turn around, and I don't want to see that happening violently. And I believe that Peter Obi has the mass appeal and the capacity to unite this country behind a vision for a better future. That is the basis. As at today, I don't know what he might do tomorrow that might change my mind. I'm a free agent. It might be that tomorrow he decides to align himself with persons that I do not believe I can work with, people that I believe cannot bring anything good to Nigeria, and on account of that I might decide, okay, hasta la vista, we can't work together. But as of today, barring any dramatic happenstance, I remain solidly behind Peter Obi, and I will continue to support him into 2027 if he's going to run, and if we have managed to reform our electoral system. Because any election without a reformation of our electoral system, I'm not interested. 2027, there will be no election without a reformation of our electoral system. If the electoral system is not reformed to ensure that beavers and electronic transmission from the polling unit becomes compulsory, I would not even bother to participate in that election, because you can be sure that Tinubu was not in power, that ran and snatched and grabbed it, already has the 2027 election result written. A Tinubu that will be busy appointing WIKE's man as electoral commissioner, the most violent election rigger in Nigeria today, openly, is WIKE. That is the person whose proxy was being appointed as
that's a weighty allegation.
Electoral commissioner.
That's a weighty allegation.
I said it because he's on video. Now what I beg Seun, stop being politically correct. There are multiple videos and audios of WIKE enforcing his political will in Rivers State over and above the sovereign will of the people of that state. Violently too. So this is not, please, I don't do beer parlor talk.
No, because
and when you need to balance things, you can, are you suggesting,
substantiating,
let's turn it into an argument. I am saying here, my name remains DELE FAROTIMI, and I am saying that there are more than enough material online showing WIKE violently suppressing the right of the people of Rivers State to elect their chosen representatives. So we cannot be talking about an election in 2027 in the presence of the multiple madnesses that have remained with us, in the presence of a situation where a corrupt INEC chairman will open his mouth and blithely declare on national TV, go to court. We can't be having that and be talking about an election in 2027. We must at least be honest enough to tell ourselves what is in front of us. If there is going to be an election worthy of his name, I will be out there supporting Peter Obi. If there will be an election, and if we still even have a country, the way Bulaba is going with Nigeria, what do we know that will be left of this country by 2027? What will be left of this country? An emir is being killed in his own domain after ransomware, and we are talking about 2027. An Oba was killed. 2 Obas, for instance, were killed in Ekiti for the other time. And we are still talking about 2027. you practically don't have a functional state again. Somebody is single-handedly, without recourse to any due process, the due process law be damned, the PPP law be damned, single-handedly without public tender of any sort, they are awarding a road at 4 billion naira per kilometer, and you are still talking about a country.
I believe that there will be cooperation because we all want to see a better judiciary. A better judiciary is for the benefit of the entire nation. Whatever the shortcomings that we see today, we are all members of the society. So if we want to see improvement, let the improvement start with each and every one of us, and then we'll also be more particular about the process of appointment. I know it gives a lot of concern, discipline on the bench, at the bar as well. All these things are aspects that we will look into, and I believe that by the grace of God, at the end of my tenure, we will have a judiciary we can all be proud of.
Thank you for staying connected, my great and wonderful viewers. You can hear what DELE FAROTIMI said in that very video. You can see the questions that Seun was actually asking him. You know, they asking him questions as if this man did not really know what he had been saying as far as Nigeria is concerned. And this is a man that is very fearless. He will never come out to sugarcoat his word. He says his words raw, and he call a spade a spade. He never fear anybody. He never fear the cabinet of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He said despite the record of CJN, the new CJN, the KEKERE, they still appoint her as the acting CJN. Where on earth is that happening? Even that is somewhere like America, even with all the reputation that she have, they will not even recommend her, talk less of appointing her. Those are the places where laws are actually working. With the record that she have by appointing the 4th position, Hope Uzodinma of APC in 2020, and they made the ruling in court, and she removed a PDP candidate that has spent 8 months in office, and she replaced the candidate with Hope Uzodinma that came 4th in the election. It's not even 2nd, it's not even 3rd. They say what kind of impunity and what kind of criminality and manipulation is that? And that was why they banned KEKERE from entering America. They banned her visa. They did not approve her visa in course of the 2020. Until now, she have not been to America. And this is a person that was born in UK and all of that. You can see what is happening. And that same person is the one that they are appointing as the new CJN. Now you can listen to DELE FAROTIMI very well. Made it known to the general public that even Tinubu himself, the Tinubu don't have drug cases in Chicago even before the election. You can hear him very well. It is a general worldview. They said Tinubu have a drug case in Chicago, and as far as the drug case is concerned, when the FBI wanted to release his files of 2,000 pages and all of that, the judicial system of Nigeria rushed to make the ruling between Tinubu, Atiku, and Peter Biden. They rushed to make it when they said that it remains 2 days for the FBI to release the files of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the drug case of Tinubu. They had to rush to make the ruling in Nigeria here, and they affirmed the legitimacy of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Within 2 hours, the ruling had been made, and DELE FAROTIMI made it known to the general public that if the person that is appointing the new CJN have criminal records on its own, how much more the new CJN? Even Akpabio, the 3rd person in Nigeria, which is the Senate president, they did not have a fraud of over 100 and something billion even before he became the Senate president and all of that. They not made the ruling on his favor. Now they say the judicial system of Nigeria is already broken and it's already falling apart. That's what a lot of people have been saying. They say the new CJM is just like Tinubu is already buying the 2027 election up front, that there's nothing the opposition parties can do. There's nothing Atiku can do at the moment. There's nothing Peter Obi can do. There's nothing Sowore can do. There's nothing Kwankwaso can do. There's nothing other presidential candidates can do, because Tinubu already know that the people actually protested against him after 1 year in office. That's to tell you that that's a bad signal. He already know that he's not having the mandate of the Yorubas. He's not even having the mandate of the Igbos before. He's not having the mandate of the Hausas again, because the Hausas actually took the protest to another level. The August 1 to August 10 protest of hunger and bad governance and all. The Hausas took it to another level where they were even calling for coups to come and take over Nigeria and all of that. That's to tell you that these people are bluntly saying that they did not want Bola Ahmed Tinubu again. That's what they're saying. They're saying it vividly, and I say that it's not enough. Even the Yorubas come out, they call Tinubu Omali. They call him different names, that he's not a true son of Yoruba, because according to them, they actually want Tinubu to treat them special when he gets into power. They actually want Tinubu to treat them in a special way, in a special package when he gets into power. But they forget that the government is not for the Yoruba. The government is for all Nigerians, and whatever directives that Tinubu make there is going to affect all Nigerians. Now, the hunger that have been ravaging the country, have been ravaging the entire country. It's not ravaging the Hausa now alone. It's not ravaging only the Igbo now, and even the Igbos are even kind of careless now. They said there's nothing that concerns them regarding the Yoruba. They even saying that Biafra is coming to stay from November 1. That was what they said. That was what Simon Lekpa said. So they're concerned about their Biafra agitations and all, and the Yorubas are now lamenting and crying. They said no, this is not the Tinubu that they know, because they actually used a lot of tribal sentiment to blindfold them because of the election. They did not want to know anything again. All they concern is it is Yoruba's turn, and they forgot that Tinubu never said that it is Yoruba's turn. Tinubu said it is his own turn, but they changed the statement. They personalized it back to the Yoruba. They said no, it is a Yoruba's turn. Tinubu never said it's Yoruba's turn. He said it is turn, and now it is really his turn to make Nigerians to see shege, and that is why he's doing everything possible to frustrate the effort of common men in Nigeria, and he's doing everything possible to make life miserable for people, and he's doing everything possible to impoverish people in a higher poverty and multi-dimensional poverty. That's what is happening in Nigeria now. They said the new CJN will not provide any solution to the judicial downfall and to the judicial corruption. Even when she came out to make it known that the judicial corruption will go down and they will cancel everything and the judicial corruption will not exist again. But the fact remains, the new CJN, according to report, they said she's going to be worse than Ariwola that was there before. So what do you guys think regarding all these things that is ongoing in Nigeria? What do you think? Now, they said very soon Obi will be coming out to make it known to the general public that everybody should go and be getting their PVC again and all of that, not knowing that PVC will not work in Nigeria democratic system again. According to what DELE FAROTIMI said, if Nigeria is still existing till 2027, if there is reformity in the judicial system of Nigeria and they reform the electoral process of Nigeria, they said that is when it will put its support for Peter Obi again. That if the system is not working, they did not reform their democratic system, that is not going to support anybody, because they know that him supporting Peter Obi will be a total waste of time. That he did not want to waste his time in 2027. He said they need to reform the judiciary, they need to reform the INEC as an organization, independent organization to be precise, and they need to reform all the arms of government that is making the presidency to come to stay and all of that. He said if not, he will not put his support for anybody. Now, according to him, the PVC cannot work in Nigeria again. Whether you vote or you did not vote, since the mammoth is still there and since the judicial judges, the tribunal and the Supreme Court judges are still there, Tinubu will still have his mandate. That's what is happening. Unless there is reform, Nigeria will not work. The vote of the people will not count. The voice of the people will not be heard. Just drop your opinion in the comment section on this video. According to what DELE FAROTIMI said, do you really think what he said in this very video is really true? Drop your opinion in the comment section, as I'm gonna dedicate that to for you. And try to follow me on my social media handles on Facebook at LAJUPOG TV and Lamp Entertainment, on Instagram at LAJUPOG. Guess what, guys? See you in my next video. Bye for now.
I see the hot for my body, I say make I yarn you. Religious gossip plenty day for body. Pastor with the line on top, he pastor for LAJUPOG Watch TV. Pastor with the back, where politician with the do pass himself. Corrupt leader, all the while you with the church. All as LAJUPOG Watch TV.